developing for us here tonight. Former Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, who is already the highest paid off-track betting executive across New York State, just got a raise. Investigative Post is reporting tonight that the board of the quasi-government gambling agency just voted to give its executives a 3% pay hike to match the increases going to unionized workers. So that brings Brown's pay to more than $303,000 a year. He'll get another $10,000 raise in January that is part of his original contract. You can imagine the controversy here. Shoemaker broke this story and is here with us tonight. Walk me through quickly how this went about.
Yeah, so one of Brown's first priorities when he came into office is, and this was his pitch to the board of directors, is that I've got a lot of connections in Albany. I'll be able to get state legislative approvals through the democratically controlled Assembly, Senate, and Governor's office. His first priority on that measure was to lower what's called the tax rate. It's a public agency, so it's not really a tax, but before, 49% of all of OTB's profits had to go to the state government. He successfully lowered that to 44%, a 5% savings. Now, in the legislation that enacted this in the state budget this year, they got that through successfully. They said that you have to use some of this money to give your rank and file employees a raise. They just had contract negotiations with their union. The union members all got a 3% raise. This piece of legislation that got voted on by the board of directors today was to make that equitable across everybody who works there. So the non-union employees also got a 3% raise. Some other exempt employees got a 3% raise. And, you know, just to be fair, we got to give the executives a 3% raise as well. So that's how we ended up with Byron Brown and his top deputies getting 3% raises. In his case, now he is nearly $304,000.
What is the reaction that you're getting from the board, from the administration overseeing this? Because again, the public is going to look at this and be like, it's a pretty big salary.
Well, Byron Brown said when I asked him, he says, look, I came in and I'm getting paid what's the market offers for this type of position. Now he's well above what his counterparts at other agencies are making. He says this is what the market offers. That's the job I took. And he says that the agency is doing well. We have the money to spend, and so we're giving it to all employees, myself included. And he's not wrong on that front. Revenues at the agency so far this year are up. That's primarily because of the hotel and the restaurants at Batavia Downs. Revenues are up, and they are in fact giving a little bit more money back to the municipalities. Over the 6 months so far this year, the revenues for the municipalities are up about $1 million, a little bit more than $1 million. And so they are, doing what the agency is supposed to be doing, and they argue that that makes them deserving of a raise.
Yeah, they've instituted some changes and bringing in more money, so you can justify the raise. Just real quickly, didn't the legislation say that the money that the state is sort of giving back to OTB couldn't be used for executive salaries? Did they have to find a different way of making this happen?
They sure did. They had to find non-tax saving money to make this move happen. Now, you also mentioned the reforms. In the reform agenda that Byron Brown got passed, they had some new caps and some new approval steps for executive travel. Now, I was on your program last year talking about Henry Watazik and his travel. They went to Vegas. They went to Saratoga Springs. When they were in Vegas, they spent $1,600 on a steak dinner. So now, under Brown, the board has to pre-approve travel, and they also did that today. They pre-approved a trip to Las Vegas. They are going to be spending $24,000 on this trip. Byron Brown himself is going to get to spend $6,000 of that. So we know ahead of time. Now they're still going, but we do know at least a little bit more about what they're doing.
Yeah, transparency has always been a big issue, so hopefully that improves so we can keep everybody updated. Shoemaker with Investigative Post. Make sure you check out the full article that's now posted. Thanks.